as it's just been said, I'm just going to talk about a bit of Ignite, where we're at, what's coming, and to show you that actually Ignite still exists, still building, and really is there. Let me try if this works. First, who I am. I'm a software engineer at Ignite. Joined 9 months ago, and I have worked as well working at Binary Builders on the SDK team. So it's great to be in both, so I can like help dev UX, improve the dev UX, because I care a lot about that, and at the same time be in the deep of the SDK. So let's start. Okay, so what is Ignite for those that doesn't know? It's a tool that helps you to create and scaffold a blockchain from scratch, a consensus blockchain. It's a tool that exists since quite some time, actually. It has been reused. It's not being promoted so much, but since 2020, it's improving the dev UX of basically a Cosmos SDK developer. And if you actually look, it has been quite much used by many chains. For instance, you can just check you fire a chain and look at the first commit, and you'll see most of the time it has been scaffolded by Ignite. So it's pretty cool. So there is multiple things that are happening in Ignite. First, there is the main software, Ignite CLI, which is a command line tool that allows you to scaffold, test, run local nets, and things like that. We have been building as well the latest version that is compatible with the latest Cosmos SDK version, and it has a bunch of new features. This is built upon like the previous version that were existing. That version is called V28. So this is something you can do. You can basically scaffold a stock Cosmos SDK blockchain, like the most basic Cosmos SDK blockchain you can have, with like the default, all the SDK modules and all the IBC module already configured for you and ready basically to launch or to develop your own modules. So for doing that, like next to the SDK blockchain, you can as well scaffold all the modules that you wanted. Like a Cosmos SDK chain is basically just a chain, and what makes you your own app chain is basically developing your own module. So you need to be able to easily and develop your own module. So you have like a bunch of comments. Like you can develop like scaffold like a normal Cosmos SDK module. If you want like different types, we help you doing that, like adding the protos and all that. But that recurring and tiring thing you have to do and edit all those files, this is like abstracted all by Ignite. So you have a bunch of comments, and as well, you're able to scaffold the UI. So like most of the time, you just don't develop only a blockchain. You as well have like an interface. So you need to configure a bunch of things like React or Vue, and then wire, Cosmos.js, and stuff like that. So all of this is, again, abstracted in Ignite. And next to that, you have like possibility to scaffold different type of SDK chains. Like, as I mentioned, the stock SDK is like containing all the modules, but sometimes like you don't need the governance module or the figurehead module. You're like, okay, I'm just going to use the minimum as possible and then build from there. Like if you build like a consumer chain, you're able to as well. I've wired the Interchain security module and then get ready to launch on with a private chain on like Gaia or whatever. So that those as well. Small features that are already built in directly in Ignite CLI to help you again to to help you again improve your ease when you develop. Next to that, obviously, there's not only scaffolding. You need eventually to run your chain. So normally you need to have like a make file and contain all those product building and all that wiring that is needed in that abstract. All of this for you already. You can like configure your Genesis, init your chain, set test accounts or stuff like that, and then you can start a single node and have a faucet, obviously, as you want to try on the locally and see if everything works and run simulation. As for testing, you write simulation for your module and you just verify everything is great. Like you can just develop easily and then it's just abstracted for you again. And as well, like for IBC chains, it's always nice to have like a relayer. Ignite using Hermes, pre-configured for you. You just have to run Ignite relayer and then connect both of your IBC chains. So that was currently is there. It's like, it's not all new. It's Ignite, as I've said, exists quite some time. We've just been working on improving the UX, supporting the latest version of the SDK and things like that to stay up to date. But there is as well more cool thing coming. Like version 29, like the SDK team has been busy with building the next version of the SDK, or 52. Ignite really wants you to build the tool where you can try the latest thing as soon as they are released. So V29 will support immediately SDK V52. There is some wiring chains that happen in modules and things like that that will already be supported. There will be instruction that we have a tool to explain you how to upgrade. Say you're stuck on feature 46 or 47, you can use Ignite, a migration tool, and see the difference, what you have to do in your code to update. Or you can just scaffold from scratch. As well as O52 is coming, and there is something new in the SDK. It's called Server V2, which is a rewrite from scratch of the core component of FDK. You had like base app and things, base app that was like the core and using Tendermint, and everything was tangled together. The SDK team has been working to like abstract that and make it more modular. Ignite will immediately support that, obviously, as alongside both, but you'll be able to scaffold your chain with a new version, with a new way of creating basically an app, and you'll be able to decide eventually which consensus engine you will want to be used. By default with Tendermint, but then eventually, like thanks to Server V2, we're able to switch that, and Ignite is going to support that. We have been as well developing scaffolding APIs, so all those great features, like mostly scaffolding. So maybe you have like a great idea, you want to scaffold something on a chain and like build something around Ignite. So we are developing scaffolding API that allows you to quickly build next to Ignite and just extend its functionality for things that you might need. For instance, you have developers building a blockchain, they already have to do such repeating tasks, and it doesn't exist on Ignite, and it's just very useful to just automatize. You can do that thanks to the scaffolding APIs coming. Harger mentioned that Ignite was supporting localness. I don't know. Whoa. Localness with one node, but one thing that's quite handy is to set up your multi-node testnet. To just check that your workchain has no undeterministic behavior, that will give you appchains. So what's coming is a new command that's called ignite testnet. That will just abstract you the setting up of multiple node chain with again one comment. And I will talk about it later. We have a bounty for creating a place testnet helper. This was a feature that was added recently in the SDK 050. We have a bounty for that, but I'll come on that later. Something coming as well, based on things to the scaffolding API, is something called Ignite Scenarios, or the name is not really set in stone yet. But basically when, like, you might not want all the module of the SDK directly headed, and there is as well, the community has been building great modules like fee abstraction, other third-party modules that are not directly in the SDK. And you might wonder, okay, when do I use this module, where I'll use that module? Ignite is going to have predefined scenarios. Say you want to build a DeFi chain, or whatever kind of chain you want to build. And we're going to bundle together module that do make sense to be used together. So in that case, if you have a DeFi chain, fee abstraction makes a lot of sense, as you might just want to be able to, for improving the US, use any token for gas. So that's something coming. You'll be able to, in the scaffolding, next to minimal consumer or whatever, you'll be able to define, okay, I want to build DeFi chain and things like that. And then it will just add module from the community, module from the SDK, module from IBC together, all configured as always, for you to use directly. And we are all working on improving the templating engine. Currently, when you scaffold the chain with Ignite, you have like placeholders everywhere. Some people might find it ugly. That's where I was working, looking for the placeholder, adding the things that were needed for the modules. But we're working on that to just kill those placeholders. so that your code just look nicer. And we use GoAST to just look up where to add things. That's a bit the feature that will be coming in V29. We'll be waiting for the SDK release, and then soon after we can release V29 with all of this. So that was one thing from Ignite CLI, but recently we have been building something called Ignite Apps, Ignite Extension, Ignite Plugins. We are like figuring the right name, but probably Ignite Extension or Ignite Apps will remain. And basically, it's components, small software that allows you to extend Ignite functionality based on whether it's the scaffolding API I mentioned earlier, or if it's just a tool that you want to run alongside, but you just want everything to be bundled under the Ignite CLI comment. So we have a bunch of available apps. You can just install them easily, like Ignite app install, and then have a GitHub repo and just install the app. And basically, it's, as I've said, extend functionality. So Ignite by default scaffold a chain with stochastic and ABC module, but many chain maybe want to be a permission custom wasm chain, but we do want to add that directly into Ignite. For maintainability and as well because not everyone needs that. So you're able to just quickly install an app and then add basically all the wiring in your scaffolded chain about custom wasm, and then configure it because there is some genesis configuration that needs to happen, and to define if you need like permission or whatever. Rollkit is as well there. Like if you want to build a rollup, there is some other configuration. Like you don't want many validators, you just want like a sequencer, or so you have some wiring again to do. This abstracted, sent to this app, and as well you have like the Explorer, which is a terminal explorer, Gex, just directly from your terminal see the blocks and just see in one place everything's happening. And as I mentioned earlier, Ignite Relay is actually an app that we've integrated, that is integrated actually in the CLI, that allows you to, just to be an IBC relay. And because we want actually other people to build apps and to extend the actual functionality what they need, we have an app registry that will list all the applications that are there in the Ignite ecosystem to extend functionality of Ignite. So that currently lists the existing app, the upcoming apps, and the community apps. I invite you to check out. And obviously, yes, it's like a bit of a package manager. So again, to improve the UX, you can just use the app registry and install one of the existing apps. So that's the available apps. I invite you to try them. We have some cool upcoming apps that will be released. They are not blocked on the SDK or V29 release. We're able to release it as soon as they're ready, and they're ready quite soon, which is a module registry that will come in later, Ignite Connect, and Spaceship. We're always looking to improve more, to add more apps. But that's like this is tree that the Ignite team has been building and is continuing to build. So a sneak peek in the module registry, basically it uses the scaffolding API as I mentioned, and there is a module registry that's called Cosmod that will combine all the modules and have a website to just be able to discover Cosmos SDK modules. And we are using this module registry to build an app. And basically what it does is you're able to scaffold your chain without any modules, and then you can see a minimal chain as like the minimum module required. And say you want to add bank is gov in the example. Say you want to add gov, you precise which version you want to use, it will just wire it for you. You see absolutely nothing I see, but here it is basically wiring your keepers, and as it's using the new wiring in the Cosmos SDK, it wires well in the app config the required things. So from Cosmos SDK module to any module from the registry, you will be able to just be like, okay, I want fee abstraction, and it's quite hard to wire. Okay, I'll use the module registry app and hope it will be wired out for me. This is quite cool. It's going to be released together with the module registry quite soon. But yeah. Next, we have something called Ignite Connect. This is basically a small command line to interact with any Cosmos SDK chain. as cosmos decay chains always have like most of the time the same messages, like bank on the Osmosis one, DYDX will work the same. So you're able to abstract basically all command lines and use only one binary to interact with Cosmos decay chain. So it uses a Cosmos decay feature that's called auto CLI. So it's like a CLI tool that allows you to just generate a CLI from the program messages and the auto CLI configuration. And it's an alternative to Hubble, which was a small tool that does almost the same thing in the Cosmos decay. But one step further, because it's better integrating Ignite. You use the Ignite account system, and you can just use that. We as well planning on to work, like this is very early stage of the second point. The first point is already in development. The second point is we're planning to work on a UI for this. So you do not need anymore to use CLI, because CLI can be, I love CLI personally, but CLI can be a bit scary for some users. It's still a UI for like advanced user, as you have to define which message you want to use, but you will use gRPC reflection on a node endpoint, and it will be able to generate an interface that basically matches several messages for your chain. This is ongoing, and this will be so early stages, but we'll be building this. Sneak peek on Ignite Connect. The CLI part is basically you use Ignite Connect, you connect to DYDX, you query a proposal 84, and then you just have the proposal messages. And you're able as well, obviously, to send transactions. You just use DYDX. You can vote a proposal 84, and that's it. Broadcast transaction. It will use one keyring, because the problem of having multiple binaries, like you have as well multiple keyrings and just switching all the time. This allows you to just interact with everything. And then the last thing is something, the last headers is in the work, something called Spaceship. It allows you to basically deploy a node easily. It uses like something from Pulumi and a file for define basically an infrastructure as code a file, and then you're able to push that and deploy an AWS solution, whatever. This is useful for like a normal node. We're going to see if we're going to improve that to make it available for validators, but currently it's just like for a normal full node, or just a node that you can just easily, from Ignite, you build your chain, you have everything ready, you have your validator written somewhere, and then hope you deploy a node very fast. Again, there to improve the UX. So, as Ignite is still existing, as I mentioned, there is more app being built. This is open source software, you're able to contribute. We want to basically tell people, hey, we're still there, we're still building, we're still, we don't advertise too much, but actually, as you see, we're quite up to date. So we invite you to contribute. And I mentioned earlier the in-place testnet bounty, which was basically a bounty of $3,000, which is to automate the creation of in-place testnet. So basically, Osmosis added in 050, a patch version of 050, a small things to be added in Scaffolding chain. And what it does is like, it basically eventually swap the validator set with like a local validator, and then you're able to duplicate the test basically using a mainline state on your local machine, which is quite useful for debugging. So for production chain using Ignite, this will be something quite useful for them. You just have to add a bit some scaffolding part in the UI, the Ignite templates, and then and it's good to go. So yeah, we invite everyone to look at it, answer the issue if you want to do it, and easy money.